3 o'clock, time for the burden meeting of no.
Thank you. Let me just call attention to one thing. Cindy Harbin is normally our chairperson. She's not able to make it today. We actually never voted for a vice chair. So what I'd like to suggest is Ron is actually sitting here, but he's the senior member of the Code Enforcement Board, and I'd like you to consider nominating and electing him as vice chairman.
Make that nomination.
Second.
Is there anybody else that wants to be nominated for the position of vice chair? There being none, I guess it's appropriate to call for a vote. All those in favor of Ron being the vice chair, say aye. Any opposed? He didn't oppose his own position, so take it away, Ron. Thanks.
All right, first thing on the list is approval of the minutes from the previous meeting.
Mr. Vice Chair, I make a motion that the minutes be accepted as presented.
We have a motion on the floor to accept the minutes,
I'll second.
and we have a second.
Minutes are then approved, I suppose, by unanimous vote, right?
Yes, the minutes are approved by unanimous vote. Thank you. Next on the first thing on the agenda is citation number 675, 6905 Abbott Lane, Crestwood, Kentucky. He has to be sworn in today.
Warren staff.
You want to swear him in? Good. State your name for the record, please.
I'm Bear, Oldham County Code Enforcement Officer.
You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give this board is true and accurate to the best of your belief and knowledge.
Proceed.
So first on the docket is citation number 675. The address is 6905 Abbott Lane, Crestwood, Kentucky, 40014. The owner on record is Lori J. Hargis of 6905 Abbott Lane, Crestwood. This hearing was not requested, and I do not believe she's here. This is a location of the property in question where the violation took place. Violation was, was OC zoning, Division 360-010, requiring building permits. She did not acquire the proper building permit. The summary, incident summary, on or about September the 13th of 22, Oldham County Electrical Inspector Jerry Dunaway noticed construction or modification of a structure located at 6905 Abbott Lane without a permit. On September the 15th, Matt Dunaway and the Oldham County Building Inspector and myself went to the property to investigate, and we placed a stop work order. I did take photos of the modifications that were taking place at the time. Here's those photos.
Quickly describe what the building was and what we're looking at.
So originally, I think the building was a barn. This is what Jerry noticed when he drove by, was that the whole outside had been taken off and windows were being added. I don't have pictures of the original structure. When me and Matt walked up to the property, this is what we noticed, that there was plumbing installed inside and a significant amount of construction that was taking place. That's when Matt placed the stop work order. This is a letter from the inspector, Matt Dunaway, describing what was being done on the property, which warranted the citation that was issued. I think y'all have a copy of that. This is citation number 675 that was issued. It was issued on September the 16th. It did come with a fine of $500. This is a copy of the certified signature card that was sent to her notifying her. Did receive it and signed for it. On September the 20th, the owner of the property did come in and apply for a conditional use permit. It was granted on October the 20th of 2022. On October the 24th, she came in and applied for her building permit.
Just stop there real briefly. The reason that she needed a conditional use because she was changing the use group in the building code of the structure. It was a pole barn. It was used for storage. It was being converted into some kind of habitable space. And ultimately what we decided or determined was that because it had plumbing, it was going to be an accessory dwelling unit. And whether they use it that way or not, they were making it outfitted with a kitchen and a bathroom and sleeping quarters or a storage room. So she did come to the Board of Adjustments, and it was granted a conditional use for an accessory dwelling unit.
So that's pretty much it right there. As of now, she is in compliance. And the thing we are here today is to deal with the $500 citation for not receiving the building permit. She did not come in and get the building permit until after the citation was issued, and that's what prompted her coming in to get everything corrected.
And we went ahead and issued the building permit because, as you saw from the pictures, the skin, if you will, had been taken off, and it was necessary with changing weather to get the building back enclosed. First thought was not issue a permit until she paid the fine, but we determined it was best and quickest. We thought she was going to be here today. So there's still, again, just the outstanding citation.
Okay, do we have a motion on procedural matters?
Here, I have a question. Did the respondent, did they request a hearing?
Hearing was not requested. Due to the citation being issued, we brought her to the code. We issued the citation and sent her to the code board at the same time with the citation to get the issue resolved.
So had she paid the fine, essentially that would be a not request of the hearing, but the fine wasn't paid. Well, we still don't have the fine paid, so of course she didn't request a hearing, but we had to come here because we wanted the code board to help us determine what to do next.
Mr. Vice Chair, I'd like to move that the citation was properly issued on or was it
September 16th.
September 16th to the respondent who is the homeowner of the property.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
That portion, now you got to move on to there really isn't any remediation, only because she has gotten a proper permit, and we anticipate her getting proper inspections because of all of this that she went through.
So we're ready to move to the civil fine. All right, we're the next item on the agenda is to have a motion on the civil fine. And the fine has been assessed at $500.
That comes from the building code.
Mhm.
That, separately from the zoning ordinances, what we typically deal with the code board or the nuisance ordinances, this is in relation to construction without a permit. And that's in the building code. It kind of gives us guidance on what the fine amount should be. So now your job is to determine, okay, do you dismiss the fine because she's in compliance? Do you collect the fine? Do you, you know,
Have we had any prior problems with this person?
not in this property.
Not on this property.
And the only reason I said it that way is because this is the property that we're dealing with.
Gotcha. Okay, understand.
Not that we've had other
Mhm.
problems, but on this property specifically.
So Jim, because that is with the building code, does the fine have to, can a motion be made at a reduced fee?
I think you can make any determination you want on the payment of the fine itself. And let me just add to that the reason we're here is we can't place a lien on the property until this board makes a decision. If there were a non-payment. So once we issue a citation, we automatically give them a hearing date at the code board. And she caught up with the rest of the procedure, but hasn't paid the fine.
Is the building permit the last, does she need anything else to keep going? Will the building permit allow her to complete the construction?
Need to, and Jim can get all the inspections done. So she'll have to have the electrical inspection done. She'll have to have the building inspector. They'll have to go out there and do a final inspection on the property.
There's several. It's electrical, HVAC, plumbing, and final inspection. And the HVAC and the plumbing are done by the state.
Do you feel this was an oversight, or was she trying to skate around it? I know that's asking you to make an opinion, but
I can't say that this was an oversight. As to what she was thinking, I can't comment on.
Our office had several conversations with her over the course since, I think, July.
Okay.
So everybody, I think, was aware of what she was intending to do. I think she went and did work without a permit. Her reasoning was that she was told by the builder that she didn't need to get a permit to put in windows and doors, even though that altered the structure of the building.
Mr. Vice Chair, I guess my first inclination is that since she is in compliance to waive the fee, I think her not being here today speaks volumes to her consideration of the severity. I'd make a motion that a fine of $250 be paid within the next 30 days, and if it's not paid within the 30 calendar days, that the $500 fine stand.
All right, excuse me, we have a motion on the floor, and we have a second.
The statute is written that if the citation is not contested and a hearing requested, that the actual citation becomes a final order. She did not request the hearing. She's not here today, but the motion on the floor is to her benefit. I don't think there's any reason why the board can't consider that, because it works to her benefit. But I do think that theoretically a lien could be placed against the property absent board approval or directive. But a lot of times the board works to help the homeowner in these situations, not necessarily punish. So I don't think there's anything wrong with the motion that's on the floor.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. It's been seconded to reduce the fee to $250 and give the owner 30 days to pay the $250. And if that doesn't come to fruition, then she'll be fined the full amount of $500. All in favor? Say aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Ready for the next case?
Second case is citation number 676, 7401 Derby Drive, Crestwood, Kentucky. The owner on record is Holly Jean Sumner, 7401 Derby Drive, Crestwood. This hearing was not requested. I think her husband, Michael, he is here to testify. This is a location of the property. It is in Kentucky Acres. Once again, this is a violation of the Oldham County zoning, building permits required. And it's also a violation of the Oldham County zoning electrical permit procedures. There's actually 3 separate violations on this citation. So 7401 Derby Drive, incident summary. While doing inspections and follow-up on permits issued for 7401 Derby Drive, the Oldham County Building Inspector, Matt Dunaway, made note that permits that were required were missing and projects were being completed without the required inspections. Several attempts were made to have the owner of the property apply for that permits and to schedule the inspections that are required. This is the addition that was missing a permit. The permit was issued for, I apologize, the permit was issued, the electrical permit was not issued. So permit 22-0432 was issued for a laundry room addition and kitchen remodel. As of now, it is complete. It is complete and has not been called in for any framing, building inspections, and never had an electrical permit issued for that project. That's one of the violations. The second violation was a permit 22-0976, which was issued for a pole barn pool house. It was complete and only had a footer inspection performed on May the 23rd of 2022. This permit still required a rough and final building inspection. This project also never had an electrical permit issued for it. This is a deck that was constructed on the property. Once again, there was no permit issued for this deck that was complete. The old deck was completely removed and a new one was built back in its place. So the 3 different violations, one for the pool house, one for the addition, and one for the deck. This is the notice from the Chief Building Inspector, Matt Dunaway. You all have a copy of that if you want to read that over of what all he determined to be wrong with the property.
But essentially, you've reiterated basically what's in
Yeah,
this.
pretty much what I said is kind of what we went over. Citation number 676.
I just want to point out, what you just went over was at the time the citation was issued.
Yes, what I just went over was why this citation was issued. That's everything that was wrong and what needed to be done according to Matt Dunaway. So citation 676 was issued on September the 21st. This is the certified mail. It was sent and signed for on September the 24th of 2022. So the owner of the property, as a result of the citation, the property owner applied for it and received all necessary permits and inspections. As of September the 26th, all inspections had passed and the property is currently in compliance. This is a copy of the permit for the electric on the pool house, a copy for the permit for the deck, and that's, he did get all his inspections done also, as of the 26th of September. He is here to talk to you all about, what occurred.
Does anybody have any questions of Adam? Being none, sir, would you like to step forward? You need to state your name and be sworn in.
Michael Shad.
Do you solemnly swear, solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give this board is true and accurate to the best of your belief and knowledge?
Yes, ma'am. I hired a contractor to do most of this work, so of course the permit was in my name for the initial, giving it to him, not being a builder or remodeler. I leaned on my contractor to do the things that he was supposed to do that I had nothing to know about. So when Adam approached me, yeah, go ahead.
But you're the husband of the owner of the property, just so that they understand.
Yeah, yes, I'm Holly's husband, Mike, Michael Shad. So, anyway, I was the one kind of heading, making sure the projects got done, with the contractors. So, when me and Adam had some conversations about things that were needing to be done, as I was putting a fence around the pool and doing other things, he was like, these other things haven't been hit. So once I got the citation, yeah, because I was asking Matt before the citation even came, what do I need to do? And I think the citation was already in the works. So the citation pretty much told me what I needed to do. Again, I was leaning on my contractors to hit those benchmarks. I didn't know that they didn't pull the proper permits on top of the addition permit, like the electrical permit. I know they redid my panel box, and I thought that was all encompassed in that, so I had no idea. And then the subcontractor for the deck said they've never pulled a permit to replace the deck. So once we found out we needed to do that, we did that as well.
Any questions with members? All right, you may be seated. All right, do we have a motion from the board on the procedural matters?
Mr. Vice Chair, I'll make a motion that the citation was properly issued on September the 21st, 2022 to the owner of the property.
All right, we have a motion on the floor.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And passes.
And this is another one where there's no remediation because the permits were issued and inspections carried out. Deal with remediation. Project is complete. Right, Mr.
So
Chairman?
do I have a motion on the civil fine, which was levied $500?
Copy for just a minute. He didn't even address whether or not he wants to pay those civil fines or not. Back up, and you think there's any pitch on?
Like I said, I was working in good faith, what I thought what we needed to do. I was leaning on the contractors to do what I thought they should do. That's why I hired them. So lesson learned there. Hopefully y'all can see that I don't need to pay the fines.
Total is $1,500. There were 3 building permits that were not applied for or issued, and like the last case, each one of them through the building code has a $500 fine, so that was a total of $1,500.
Mr. Vice Chair, I'll make a motion, since the project is in compliance now, the homeowner has a representative here to address the situation. I make a motion that the fees be waived in this case. Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to waive, please, and the second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes.
Yes.
Thank you.
And lady.
Adam?
So the final case today is citation number 679, 2050 Jericho Road, LaGrange, Kentucky. The owner on record is Kathleen Kirsch Gray of 2509 and a half Jericho Road, LaGrange, Kentucky. This hearing was not requested. This is a location of the property. It's just outside of LaGrange. This is a violation of the nuisance ordinance, section 1. So I received a complaint about the condition of the property located at 2050 Jericho Road the week of August the 29th of 2022. I did an inspection on August the 30th. I did speak with a Kathy Lewis. She said she was downsizing and having family issues. She said that it would be in compliance by September the 22nd of 2022. These are a couple of photos. This is one. And these are two other photos of the property taken at that time. A courtesy letter was issued on August the 31st for the property. On September the 22nd, Kathy called and said she needed one more weekend. I gave her until September the 28th, informed me she probably needed to get a dumpster to get quite a bit of that. There was quite a bit there. On September the 28th, I did an inspection, and it showed little to no improvement other than the truck was gone that was sitting in the driveway. This is a picture right here of September the 28th. These are also pictures of the 28th. At that time, on September the 28th, I did issue a notice of violation. October the 7th, I did a site visit. It showed some improvement. I spoke with Kathy on the phone. She informed me that she was in the hospital, said that her father and son had been cleaning it up. I told her I was going to be issuing a citation that day, but that I would hold off till Monday if she promised to call them and tell them that it needed to be done that weekend. On October the 10th, I spoke with Kathy and did another site inspection. There was a noticeable difference. That was a Monday. She said she was released from the hospital on Saturday and worked on it all day Sunday. There was a noticeable difference, so I gave her until Thursday, the 13th, for another follow-up inspection. This is a picture that was taken on October the 7th. On October the 13th, I did a site inspection. It showed no improvement since that Monday. I tried calling and left a message. I got no response, so I did issue the citation. These were pictures taken on the 7th. This is a copy of the citation that was issued on October the 14th. I did send it certified mail. I never did receive the signed copy back. So on the 27th, I actually called Kathy to confirm that she had received the citation. I also posted one on the door. That photo didn't take, but I called her to make sure that she did receive it. She informed me that she had and had plans to be present for the hearing. She is here today. I did do a site inspection today. There has been noticeable improvement on the property as of today. It still is not in compliance. These two photos, one taken from August the 30th, the one to the right is dated November the 2nd today. You can see a big difference on the front porch. I know in today's photo, what you see underneath that canopy, that's pretty much all that's left on the property. And I got another side photo. You can see the difference from August the 30th to today. Again, all that's really left is what's under that canopy and a little bit that's under the trees. And she is here today to talk.
All right, board members have any questions of Adam? There being none, Would Representative like to come forward?
Hi, my name is Kathy Lewis. When I first got this citation,
Pardon me, ma'am.
oh, I'm sorry.
Need to be sworn in.
Right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give this board is true and accurate to the best of your belief and knowledge?
Yes. Okay. Before I even started, my aunt purchased this house through an auction. And the truck that you seen up there is all the stuff that I cleaned up from the house before I even moved in. I called the board, whoever the permit, because I told my aunt, I said, I got to get rid of, because I came from a larger house and I'm down, this is only 2 bedrooms. And plus, I had some stuff already in storage. And I told my aunt, I said, can I have a yard sale? Because I got to get rid of all this stuff. You know, ain't no sense paying storage when I got a house now. And by me going through a divorce, I got to get rid of it so we can sell the other house. And my aunt says, well, call the board of Oldham County and see, do you need a permit to have a yard sale? So I called, and they was like, no, you don't need a permit. And I said, what do I need to do to have a yard sale? They said, just bring it out and advertise. And I said, okay. So I got my son and my dad, who's 88. Well, let me go back. So I tell my son to go ahead and start bringing the stuff out here. When we first started, we had everything just in a little pile. Then nobody complained. And in fact, one of the neighbors said I was making improvement because I got all the toilets and mattress and everything that was there, and I threw it in that dump truck. And you can see how packed the dump truck is. So after I did that, I told my son to go ahead and just keep, I got 2 sons, told him go ahead and just keep bringing the stuff out. I'm going to organize it, and I'm going to put up, and I don't know if y'all noticed, but in the first picture, I had one of those big tents. My aunt gave me a big tent, and I had everything underneath the tent, and I was organizing it, and everything was looking good. No complaints. Then I got sick. When I got sick, I didn't go Dr. Wyway. I was still trying to help. Well, that's when my son, I was there at first, but that's when my sons kind of just took over, and they just started putting stuff in the yard. And I'm not going to lie, it overwhelmed me. Then I got a citation, and I told them, I said, well, if you don't mind, because if y'all remember in August, we had 5 or 6 days where it poured down raining. So that didn't help, so I couldn't organize the stuff. Then, when I got the citation, I asked them, I said, well, we done had a lot of rain. I said, can I have another weekend and I'll get it back organized? And Adam is so nice, he said, yes. Well, I got sick that night, went in the hospital, and I was in the hospital for 3 weeks, which Adam tried to call me, and I said, Adam, I should get out this Friday. I said, I'm going to go ahead and get it organized. Well, Adam came up and he seen there was nothing done. And I love my sons, but they don't know how to organize, and they was just throwing stuff out there. And the problem is, they actually emptied both storage. I didn't know they was going to empty both storage, but they thought they was helping me. So what you see in that yard is composed of my house and 2 storages and some stuff that I had in a garage. And they just brought it all out there. Well, Adam was working with me, and that first improvement is when I had me, my dad, I was in the hospital. They went out there and they tried to do some, which they did clean off the porch a little bit, like Adam said. Then Adam came back out and he took those other pictures. Well, I wasn't in the, I was doing good, but I was in the hospital. That's why he couldn't call me, because if you ask Adam, and he'll tell the truth, most of the time he called me, I pick right up, whatever. Well, I couldn't, because I was in the hospital, and it's my diabetes and everything else. So I was septic, I was confused, and I didn't have my phone. Well, when Adam told me that, he said, you know what, Miss Kathy, I put it on the door. I had just got out of the hospital that morning, and I told him, I said, Adam, the reason why I didn't see you or talk to you was because I was in the hospital. I just got out this morning, I seen on the door. Well, since I've been out and I've been feeling good, if you notice on this picture, I almost got it all done. I had like about 3 or 4 of those canopies. Now I'm down to my last one. And the only thing I'm asking for is a little bit more time, and I'll have it all done. But it's a couple things underneath that tree, which I was going to leave underneath there because it's my tables, like if you set up for a get together, and it's like a stand that I put my flowers on. And on the side of the house, that's not even my stuff, but I'll move it because Adam told me I got to move around there too. That was with the property, but I'll move it. I moved everything else. But only thing I'm asking the board is 2 things. Let me have a little bit more time so I can get all that stuff done. And y'all got me for $150. And I haven't been working that much. I was seeing if I could get that dismissed. That's it. Thanks, y'all.
Any questions?
Chair, I do have a question. Ma'am, are you sure 2 days would be enough? How long do you need?
Any more questions? All right, do we have a motion? Need a motion on procedural matters?
I'd like to make a motion that citation was properly issued on October 14th to the owner of the property. Also, that the respondent requested a hearing to contest the citation within the 14 days of the issuance and is present at the hearing to contest the citation.
To be clear, she did not request this hearing. When the citation was issued, we automatically brought her here for the hearing.
And again, that's a little bit different than what everything says here. In order to move the case to a code board and be able to advertise and everything, we don't wait to see if it's contested or not. But the fact that they're here tells you that simply that they're concerned about their property in this case.
I'd like to restate my motion then that the citation was properly issued on October 14th to the owner of the property.
All right, we have a motion that the citation was properly issued. We have a second. We have the second. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. We have a motion on the nuisance ordinance violation.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion that the nuisance ordinance violation was appropriate because the condition or use of the premises are detrimental to the property of others and causes or tends to cause substantial diminution of the value of others in the property. Storage of any following junk, lumber, limbs, trash, debris, appliances, container, furniture, and equipment. Second.
Motion on the floor and it's been seconded. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Mr. Vice Chair, I'd like to make a motion for the fine.
Termination of penalty and then the civil fine.
I'd like to make a motion that we give the respondent 10 days to address the issue fully, and if it can be completed in the time that we would waive the fine. If not, then the full fine would be enforced.
I'd second that. Entertain an amendment to your motion. It would be 5 business days.
I was going to at least throw out there is in order to have, I'll call it 2 weekends, make it till November 14th. That would be not quite 2 weeks from today. It's more than 10 days, more than 5 days, but at least it's 2 full weekends.
I like that.
And that's what I was thinking. I was trying to get 2 weekends in there. So yes, by November 14th.
By November 14th.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to give the owner till November the 14th to clean up everything else and to be in compliance. Do we have a second?
Yeah.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Not hearing none, motion passes.
It include the civil fines.
To address it now? That concludes that case.
Not need to address.
The business?
Are you ready for the old business?
I have a question. So she has till the 14th, and the fine is still in play if she doesn't comply?
What the motion was, yes.
All right.
And if I heard it correctly, if she does clean it up by then, the fine goes away.
Right.
Procedurally, we have two different, we should call it remediation and then the civil fine. Oh, my bad. No, it's fine. I think, you know what, capture it in the minutes and everything. Everybody understands what the motion was.
Right.
It included both. You got till the 14th, period. And then you deal with the fine. And if it's not cleaned up by the 14th.
I wasn't quite sure how to, because dealing with I wanted to say, well, if you do it, we get the fine, but I wasn't 100% sure how to do it. So for that, I'll make adjustments for next time.
Old business. Start off with citation numbers 654 and 671, which was 7401 Glenwood Avenue. This is the final order that you all issued on it. You all gave him till September the 7th, or you all gave him till October the 22nd to have the property brought into compliance. If it wasn't, to have it the case turned over to the county attorneys for criminal charges. Some improvements have been done, but the property still is not in compliance. I have met with the owner, and he stated he is going to continue to work on bringing the property into compliance. As of today, this case has been turned over to the county attorney's office. Any questions on that one?
But you might want to just go a little more in refreshing their memories on where Glenwood Avenue,
7401 Glenwood Avenue was in
Louisville.
the Villa subdivision. It was the one that had quite a bit, was the garage.
It was the,
If you all like, next time I can put
Been
a
there.
photo with it. So the second case was case 22-0075. This was on 6830 Abbott Lane. On this one, you all gave her 45 days until October the 22nd to bring the exterior of the property and the garage into compliance. As of today, that property is fully in compliance. I do have some photos for that. To the right, the one photo is taken August the 4th. Currently, on November, as of today, this is what it looks like, the White House. They painted it white to cover up the smoke smell. So that's one picture from the front of the property.
which was burnt.
And this is the picture of the garage. They tore the garage down. It's been hauled off. And so that property is in compliance as of today. That case will be closed.
All right, thank you.
The next one was case number 21-0038. This also was in the Lake Louisville area. It was another burnt home. You all gave her 30 days until October the 7th of 2022 to have the property into compliance. The property currently is in violation. It's probably 75% complete. The owner called me and requested additional time on September the 29th due to issues acquiring the needed dumpsters. They were not available until October the 15th to have all the material hauled off. The owner is currently on their third dumpster and said they would continue until complete, having dumpsters brought in and taken out I did drive by there today, and there was currently a dumpster on site that was probably halfway full. I've made probably 3 trips out there, and the dumpster there's been one dumpster there, and you can see the dumpsters coming and going. She did say that she was having issues getting the dumpster company to pick them up and bring the new one in, and that's what was taking so long. Any questions on that one?
To answer that, I have to go back and look at the minutes and see.
I mean, go back to that one, Madam. Previous,
Did we say or else what?
well, it would be in the property, bring the property into compliance within 30 days of September 7. So by October. That should be in our minutes, because that's from the board meeting, we just approved the minutes.
On page 8 of 14.
Thank you.
8 of 14.
The $150 fine is waived as long as the property is brought into compliance within 30 days. So,
Procedurally, there would have to be a motion before the board to consider whether the property was brought into compliance pursuant to that order. If the board finds that it was not, then I think the fine can be issued.
or they could give them more time if they chose.
Sure, the board can always take action that benefits the property owner.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion that the homeowner be given an additional 30-day timeline. I don't think the board has any idea as to the anticipated wait times on dumpster companies or anything like that, so that I ask that we give them an additional 30 days.
And we have a motion on the floor, citation number 673, to give the owner an additional 30 days before a fine is imposed.
Question, because we didn't have a board meeting in October, that would have been the first 30 days, so you're saying 30 days from today.
Correct.
Otherwise, it's only a few days.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. I second that.
We have a motion on the floor. And the second, all in favor, say aye. All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Any other?
One more. So this is citation number, actually case number 21-0074 for 3301 West Highway 42. Douglas and Helen Wise. This is the property at the corner of 53 and 42 that had the vehicles in the back. So this goes back to January. You requested that the owner stay in communication. As of today, the owner does still stay in communication with me. You gave them until March 31st of 2022. Now that's what the day that the owner agreed to have the property in compliance. The property has been cleaned up to comply to the nuisance ordinance, the property. And the vehicles have been removed from the property. One van does remain that is licensed, insured, and operable. The owner stated he intends to begin driving this vehicle. That was one of the vehicles in the back. I do have some photos. So this is the property on the left-hand side where the driveway is. The one to the left, I don't have a date for. It's not a photo that I took. It was taken before I became the code enforcement officer. The photo to the right shows that pretty much all the debris has been picked up. It no longer exists there. There's still a little bit along the side of the house. And this is another photo. The one to the left, I do not know when it was taken. The one on the right, if you look at the one on the left, you can kind of see the vehicles back there. The one on the right shows that all the vehicles are gone off of the property currently. So on this one, I believe it was a $150 fine, which does stand. The property owner has not paid that fine as of today, so
But the property's in compliance.
itself has been cleaned up, but the fine has not been paid. Any questions on that one? Or concerns?
Chair, I'll make a motion that since the property is now in compliance, that the fine be waived at this point.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to waive the fine. And we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? No opposition, so the motion passes. Any other
Be
discussion?
happy with that.
If you guys got a few minutes, we'll close the meeting and we'll do a little training. That does not have to be.
Chair, before you close the meeting, I'd like to thank Adam for the follow-up on the previous cases. That's new to me that we have that, and I think it's important. So thank you for doing so.
Start trying to do that. I didn't think about it until today, so that's why some of them didn't have photos, because I actually went to all the old ones today. And when I hit Abbott Lane, I thought, I'm going to start taking photos, and that way I can kind of.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Anything else?
I do have one more follow-up, the one on Deham Drive, 11316, that was dismissed. As of today, that property, I did drive by it, nothing's been done yet. I do have to do a follow-up with the, to find out where we are in that procedure. That's the one that was being foreclosed on that we dismissed. I am still going to try to follow up on that one and find out where we're at on that. That's it.
All right, meeting adjourned.